Did you know that doing crunches might be one of the least effective ways to lose fat? That's right. You could be wasting time and energy on exercises that deliver little to no results. The truth about the best and worst fat-burning workouts is about to be revealed. For years I fell into the same trap, thinking that the hardest workouts would give me the best results. But once I understood the real impact of each movement, everything changed. I learned that it's possible to burn a lot more fat with much less effort. In this video I'll show you which exercises actually speed up fat burning, which ones are just hype, and how to adjust your routine to get real results. No gimmicks, just a smart and effective strategy, grounded in real science. And if you're ready to take it a step further, I have an exclusive guide we developed especially for you. It's available under special conditions for a limited time, but more on that later. First, let's dive in and uncover what really works. Alright, let's kick things off with the undisputed champion of calorie burn per minute, high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. When you're talking about maximum effort and maximum output in a short amount of time, this is where it's at. Exercises like all-out sprints, burpees, and mountain climbers are designed to push your heart rate through the roof. The magic of HIIT lies in its intensity. You're working at a level that's simply not sustainable for long periods, which is why it's structured with short bursts of work, followed by brief recovery periods. Think about a full-force sprint. For those 20 or 30 seconds, your body is a furnace, burning calories at an incredible rate. The same goes for a set of explosive burpees. You're using your entire body, from your legs and core to your chest and shoulders, creating a massive metabolic demand. This is why, minute for minute, nothing really compares to the sheer caloric expenditure of a well-executed HIIT session. It's the reason these workouts are often short, because if you're doing them right, you physically can't maintain that pace for very long. This intensity also leads to something called the afterburn effect, or EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Essentially, your body has to work harder to recover and return to its normal state after the workout is over, which means you continue to burn calories at an elevated rate for hours. It's a powerful tool, a serious metabolic spike that continues paying dividends long after you've finished your last rep. This makes it incredibly efficient from a time perspective. However, and this is a huge however, there's a major downside. The very thing that makes HIIT so effective, its brutal intensity, is also its greatest weakness. These workouts are incredibly taxing on your body, both physically and mentally. Pushing yourself to that near maximal level day in and day out is a recipe for burnout, overtraining, and potential injury. It's a tool, a powerful one, but it's not something you can or should build your entire fat loss strategy around. So while sprints, burpees, and mountain climbers sit at the top of the throne for raw calorie burn, we have to be realistic. For the average person looking for sustainable, long-term fat loss, relying solely on these exhausting sessions is a mistake. They are a fantastic supplement to a balanced routine, maybe 1 or 2 sessions a week, but they're too demanding to be the foundation. Sustainability is key, and for most people, HIIT just isn't sustainable in the long run. Now let's talk about a common sight in any gym: the cardio machines, the treadmill, the elliptical, the stationary bike, and the dreaded assault bike. They all come with these bright, shiny digital displays that tell you exactly how many calories you've burned. It feels great to look down and see that number ticking up, giving you a sense of accomplishment, but I have to be the one to tell you the hard truth. Those numbers are almost always wrong, and in most cases they're significantly overestimating your actual calorie burn. These machines use generalized algorithms to calculate your expenditure. They take your weight, if you even enter it, the speed or resistance, and the duration, and then they spit out a number. But this calculation doesn't account for a host of critical individual factors. It doesn't know your body composition, how much muscle versus fat you have. It doesn't know your personal metabolic rate, your fitness level, or even your efficiency of movement. A seasoned cyclist will burn fewer calories at the same speed as a beginner because their body has become more efficient. The machine doesn't know that. Think about the assault bike, a machine famous for its difficulty. It will often show a massive number of calories burned in a very short time. While you are indeed working incredibly hard, the number on the screen is an inflated estimate. It's designed to be motivating, but it's not scientifically accurate. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. You might think you burned 500 calories, so you go and eat an extra 500 calories, but in reality, you may have only burned 350. This can completely sabotage your fat loss efforts without you even realizing it. So how do we get an accurate measurement? The gold standard in a laboratory setting is a gas exchange mask, which measures the oxygen you consume and the carbon dioxide you exhale. This gives a precise reading of your metabolic rate and caloric expenditure during exercise. Of course, none of us are going to wear one of these masks at the gym. A more practical tool is a heart rate monitor paired with a quality fitness tracker or watch. While still not perfect, they use your personal heart rate data, age and weight to provide a much more personalized and accurate estimate than the generic machine console. The key takeaway here is to treat the calorie counters on cardio machines as rough estimates at best, or better yet, ignore them completely. Focus on the real metrics: time, distance, resistance, and most importantly, your perceived effort. Are you pushing yourself? Are you getting your heart rate up? That's what matters. Don't let a misleading number on a screen dictate your workout or your diet. Use it as a tool for tracking progress in terms of performance, not as an accurate calorie counter. After talking about the brutal intensity of HIIT, let's shift gears to the other end of the spectrum: low-intensity, steady-state cardio, or LISS. And the king of this category, in my opinion, is incline walking on a treadmill. Now I know what you might be thinking. Walking? That's not intense enough to burn fat, but that's where you'd be mistaken. The power of incline walking doesn't come from its intensity, but from its incredible sustainability and its surprisingly effective calorie burn. When you crank up the incline on a treadmill, you dramatically increase the demand on your posterior chain, your glutes, hamstrings, and calves. It transforms a simple walk into a legitimate workout. You can maintain a brisk pace, get your heart rate into that fat-burning zone, and keep it there for an extended period, maybe 30, 45, or even 60 minutes. You'll be sweating, you'll be breathing harder, but you won't be completely gassed. This is the sweet spot for consistency. The beauty of this is its low impact and low systemic stress. Unlike sprinting, which pounds your joints, or heavy lifting, which taxes your central nervous system. Incline walking is something you can do almost every day without risking burnout or injury. This makes it the perfect tool for consistently chipping away at your calorie deficit. Burning 300 to 400 calories from a daily walk adds up to a massive 2,100 to 2,800 calories per week. That's a significant amount of fat loss accumulated from an activity that actually feels good and is easy to recover from. However, there's a common mistake I see people make all the time that completely negates the benefits: holding onto the treadmill rails. The moment you grab those handles, you're supporting your body weight. You're taking a huge amount of work away from your legs and core. Your posture changes, your gait becomes unnatural, and most importantly, your calorie burn plummets. You might as well just lower the incline. If the speed or incline is too high for you to walk without holding on, simply reduce it until you can maintain your balance with a natural arm swing. So while it may not have the glamour of a high-intensity workout, incline walking is a secret weapon for sustainable fat loss. It's easy to maintain, it burns a respectable number of calories, it's great for active recovery, and it's something you can stick with day in and day out. Consistency is the most important variable in any fitness plan, and low-intensity cardio is the embodiment of that principle. It's the marathon, not the sprint, and in the long run, the marathon always wins. Let's step outside the gym for a minute, because exercise doesn't have to be confined to treadmills and weight racks. One of the biggest secrets to long-term success in fat loss is finding activities that you genuinely enjoy. When your workout doesn't feel like a chore, you're infinitely more likely to do it consistently. And that consistency, as we've been saying, is the absolute key. This is where hobbies and sports come into play, and they can be incredibly effective calorie burners. Think about something like longboarding or skateboarding. You might not consider it a formal workout, but spend an hour cruising around, pushing off and carving turns, and you've just done a fantastic session of cardio. You're engaging your legs, your core for balance, and you're keeping your heart rate elevated. The best part? You're so focused on the movement, the environment, and the fun of it that you don't even realize you're exercising. It's a perfect example of what I call disguised cardio. The same goes for playing a sport like basketball. A pickup game is essentially a high-intensity interval workout. You're sprinting, jumping, shuffling side to side, and then having brief moments of rest. It's dynamic, it's explosive, and it burns a ton of calories. But are you thinking about burning calories while you're trying to hit a jump shot or play defense? Of course not. You're engaged in the game, competing, and having a good time with your friends. This principle applies to almost any active hobby: hiking, dancing, rock climbing, swimming at the beach, even just throwing a frisbee in the park. The psychological benefit here cannot be overstated. When you tie physical activity to enjoyment and social connection, it becomes a positive part of your lifestyle, rather than a negative obligation you have to force yourself to do. This fundamentally changes your relationship with exercise and makes you more likely to seek out opportunities to be active. So, I want you to expand your definition of what exercise is. Don't feel like you have to be miserable in the gym to get results. Find something that gets you moving and puts a smile on your face. Whether it's longboarding down the boardwalk or joining a local soccer league, integrating enjoyable activities into your routine is one of the most powerful strategies for burning extra calories and achieving a lean physique that you can maintain for life. Because the most effective workout is the one you actually do. Alright, let's talk about lifting weights. Strength training is an absolutely critical component of any well-rounded fitness program, and it's especially important during a fat loss phase. When you're in a calorie deficit, your body is looking for energy, and it can get that energy by breaking down not only fat, but also your hard-earned muscle tissue. Heavy lifting sends a powerful signal to your body to preserve that muscle, ensuring that the weight you lose is primarily from fat. This is non-negotiable for achieving a lean, toned, and athletic physique. Building and maintaining muscle also has a significant metabolic advantage. Muscle tissue is more metabolically active than fat tissue, meaning it burns more calories at rest. The more muscle you have, the higher your basal metabolic rate will be. This means you're burning more calories 24/7, even when you're just sitting on the couch. So, in the long run, strength training is one of the best things you can do for your metabolism. However, we need to be very clear about one thing. The primary purpose of strength training is not to burn a high number of calories during the workout itself. This is a common misconception. People think a grueling leg day is going to torch fat directly, but when you look at the actual numbers, the caloric expenditure of a traditional strength training session, with its long rest periods between sets, is relatively modest compared to dedicated cardio. Think about it. In a 1-hour lifting session, a significant portion of that time is spent resting and recovering between sets of heavy squats or bench presses. That rest is crucial for performance and strength gains, but it's time when your heart rate is lower and your calorie burn is minimal. You might feel exhausted afterward due to the strain on your muscles and nervous system, but the total energy burned is often less than a sustained session of moderate intensity cardio. So, you should not view your lifting sessions as your main tool for creating a calorie deficit. That's not its job. Its job is to build and preserve muscle, to sculpt your physique, and to boost your metabolism in the long term. The fat loss, the direct calorie burning, should come from your nutrition and your dedicated cardio or activity sessions. See strength training as the framework that gives your body its shape and metabolic power, not the furnace that burns the fuel. It's vital, but for a different reason. Now we arrive at what is probably the single most overrated category of exercises for fat loss direct ab work. I'm talking about crunches, sit-ups, leg raises, Russian twists, all the movements people do endlessly in the hopes of burning belly fat and revealing a six-pack. I see it every single day in the gym. People finishing their workout with hundreds of reps of ab exercises, thinking this is the key to getting rid of that stubborn layer of fat around their midsection. Let me be perfectly clear, this is a complete waste of time if your goal is fat loss. The concept you need to understand is called spot reduction, which is the idea that you can burn fat from a specific area of your body by training the muscles in that area. And the science is unequivocal on this: spot reduction is a myth. You cannot crunch your way to a flat stomach. Your body loses fat systemically from all over, based on your genetics and hormones. You can't pick and choose where it comes from. Furthermore, let's look at the actual calorie burn of these exercises. It's laughably low. Doing a crunch is a very small, isolated movement. It engages a tiny amount of muscle mass and requires very little energy. You could do hundreds of crunches and you might only burn the number of calories found in a single apple. Compare that to a compound movement like a squat or a burpee, which uses your entire body and burns exponentially more calories in the same amount of time. Of course, having a strong core is incredibly important. A strong core is essential for stability, power transfer in athletic movements, protecting your spine, and improving your posture. And for that reason, you should absolutely train your abs. but you should do it with effective, functional exercises like planks, AB wheel rollouts, or hanging leg raises, which build real core strength. You should be training them for strength and stability, not for fat loss. So please, stop spending 20 minutes at the end of your workout doing endless crunches. It is the least efficient, least effective thing you can do for fat loss. The saying abs are made in the kitchen is cliché for a reason. It's true. A visible six-pack is a result of having a low overall body fat percentage, which is achieved through a consistent calorie deficit from your nutrition and total body exercise. Training your abs will build the muscle, but diet and smart cardio will reveal them.